Good morning. Tired. Feel like I'm still recovering from the show yesterday. Probably because I am recovering from the show yesterday. We'll do a recap since everybody starts popping in. Hey, Joe. Good morning. How are you? How was your Sunday? Whew. Nick, good morning. What's up, brother? Well, a comet is set to be in the sky either the 21st or really? It's kind of groovy. It's going to stay in the sky, right? It's not like it's just going to decide to take a little parking spot here on the earth. Okay. Get the feet down a little bit more. No, it's comet, not a meteor. Try to remember, comet is an ice ball. A meteor is rock. I both have the possible ability to impact, but I could be wrong. I am by no means a planetary scientist. Likely blow up from the gases built up in the ice. Yeah. Now, that could be fun. Create quite a little doozy. How was the show? Did you get something? The answer is yes and yes. I'll wait for a few more people to pop in, then I'll do a little recap of the show. It's a good show. It was a good show in that it was a fun show. I One thing that makes, I think, a show really fun, like memorable in many ways, is when you're having so many conversations with so many different people that you don't get to see most of the stuff on the tables. I'm trying to remember now if I even took a picture. I didn't take, I had, again, got caught up into so many things and got pulled in so many directions. I didn't get a chance to take photos. Let me see if I took any photos. No, not a stinking photo, which is too bad because there was something there there were a few things there that were pretty awesome. Always making us wait for the latecomers. I know. I know. I know. I should treat them like the bastard little stepchildren that they are, but I can't do that. Anyway, how was your weekends, guys? How was your Sundays? Hopefully rested, wested and we waxed. I get to go in today and I don't know, continue the fun of the end of last week. Can't wait. That's all right. Had a really good weekend, so that's what matters. All right. Pop the hand back on here. Sometimes you get lost in those good times, man. Yeah. And there were, I mean, it was nonstop conversations through the day. Unlike the Hudson Valley show the week before, where there were lulls and I could go out and uh, I could go sit in my car for a little bit and eat something, come back in. I called my wife after a little while, stuff like that, because the show was smaller and there were a lot of sort of gaps in between. I I didn't know as many people there, though I did meet a bunch of people and hung out with a bunch. But at the same time, there was a lot more ability to separate a little bit. All right. We got Chris back on. Welcome, Tom. Good morning. Ray, good morning. Time is get lost. Time well spent. If you enjoy, exactly. It was fine. No bench time, but the smoker now has a door on it. Well, that kind of helps. And did I get a damn thing done? But I did rest. That's good. Morning. I need coffee. I started yesterday's stream and was wondering why I couldn't talk to anyone. Wow. Hey, Tony. Good morning. All right, we got what, 7 people popping in? We can start on the recap. So Joe, hi Tom, hi everyone. All right, so let's do this. Let's start with the sort of like the politics of the show. Obviously there were a number of people there wanted to catch up with them regarding the PAC-on controversy, and all that conversation went very well. In fact, I had the level of support we got, and not people are backing us again. It's more a matter of, hey, we know that mistakes were made and you guys are going to fix it. Great. That's all I want to hear. In fact, I talked to the guy whose model was picked up again, and he told me that he was interviewed by that same podcast that just lacerated us. And what was interesting was he said they were trying to goad him into condemning us or condemning the situation and vilifying it. And he's like, look, and the reason this kind of came about was because he apologized publicly for how he behaved afterward. And and they try to goad him into like, you gotta kind of like take a more harder stance. Now again, I'm paraphrasing what he said. he's like, they try to goad him into, kind of like taking that hard stance like they're doing, that these guys were a bunch of assholes, that kind of thing. And he said, I didn't buy into it. In fact, what's interesting was I knew about this podcast that was going to be coming up, that he was interviewed. And so far, it hasn't been published because I think it's kind of again, maybe it will be. But right now, I think it's kind of like, that didn't go quite the way we wanted. So, sometimes you just got to be truthful with people and just let them know where things really are and see what happens, right? Shit still throws me off. Damn. I know. I agree. Is it a virus? What's going on, Edwin? Good evening, my friend. So anyway, but it was good to have a conversation with Tim. I actually, I thanked him again for everything. I thanked him for the last few weeks for helping me out. And I said, look, I'm going to probably have some questions about how you guys do some judging because, as we revise our rules, I want to be able to get people's take on it. He's like, great, thanks. I appreciate that. So it was good. Good conversation that way. And then the rest of the time was, again, just hanging out with everybody. I talked to a few other of the chapter leaders. Excuse me. Again, thanking them for all their support and doing all the good stuff that they've been doing. And, and even just talking about how we can continue to do things that are beyond just competitions. There were good conversations about, having club tables and getting a bunch of people together and not even having models, like all of us modelers just kind of hanging out and, breaking bread and that kind of thing. And it was like, that's what it's all about, right? In the end, it's really all about just like this. If anybody comes here to learn about scale models, let's be honest, there are better channels to go to for that. This is basically just one big model hangout. And that's kind of how I've appreciated how how this channel has kind of grown. And if, like I said, if you want to go out there and learn from experts, well, not here and not happening. It's just the way it is. So anyway, it was good to talk with all these folks and have great conversations, and got a lot of good feedback from people. And then it was just fun conversations, just seeing, all these different people and kind of catching up with them, and even like my locals, we hung out and we talked a little bit. The models themselves, there was a lot of good stuff, and I'm hoping that somebody from Granite will take a photo. So if you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, is Julius here? Hey, Julius, what's going on, brother? What's up? Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, this is Julius. Yeah, Julius, I don't know what's going on with this brother. So on the table, and I'm going to see if I can find it. So remember a couple of weeks ago at the Classic Plastic Show, we're talking about that $1,400 Ferrari model. It's the 1958 Testarossa. Beautiful. The F1 next to it. Beautiful. Those were kit models. There was a 1/16th scale Ferrari, half of which was scratch built. And I'm looking at that fucker and I'm like, what the hell is that? He won Best of Show. I got to tell you, he cast a lot of the panels. He had the plates that he used to cast this stuff. The next time I see this guy, it's like, dude, can you walk me through some of this stuff? This is one of those times when, look, we've all met people who've done some pretty fantastic scratch building. And I looked at that thing and I'm like, I'm not in the same galaxy, as this guy. Trying out printing TPU material. It was rubber-like and perfect for printing minis, banner, so it won't break. Oh, that's kind of cool. So it's a flexible material. Nice. I will find a photo of that because I'm pretty sure a bunch of our people took photos of it, and I'm going to ask them if anybody has a photo of it. It was off the chain impressive. like I said, those cars that we saw a couple weeks back, they were just great because they were fabulous models, and the finish work on a lot of it was great. But um, one of them was a stock model, beautifully executed, and the other one was modified wiring, which was really, really good. But this was a lot of it was scratch built. The stitching on the seating, it's like, wow. Anyway, so I brought my bat plane, and I did not enter it in the plane section. I figure it's just enter it in miscellaneous. It's kind of like that. Does the guy have social media? I don't know. I don't know if he does or not. You could check out. I don't follow a lot of the Instagram stuff anymore, but you can certainly look up the because he's one of the members, Classic Plastic. So Classic Plastic, by the way, guys, is primarily their car modelers, and these guys are doing some fabulous work. Like, they're a specific group. They're not affiliated, but they are car modelers. They're trying to broaden to other things too. They do have a miscellaneous category, which I entered last, and they're trying to get into some Gundam to try to get younger kids in. Great idea. But they're primarily car guys, and their car work is excellent. It really is. So look up Classic Plastic scale models, and it's either in southern New Hampshire or northern Massachusetts, wherever it is. But yeah, those guys are. I've learned a lot. This is again, you take the good out of whatever bad came about, and this is the good that kind of came out of it. Was I've been able to hang out with a lot of people I normally probably wouldn't have, and I've learned about a category that I knew nothing about, and didn't give it the deference that I think it deserved. And shame on me for that, because frankly, the stuff that I'm seeing from car modelers, again, I'm not interested in building cars. Yes, I will build a couple or in my lifetime, but cars are still not my thing. But to see that level of work when it's done well, wow, impressive. So I entered the bat plane in the miscellaneous category. I think they make a Prius kit. I'd be tempted, but not really. I've got my two. I got 2 car kits that I really want to work with, maybe a third. So, actually 4. Oh, there is 4, because one of them is a diorama. There's a diorama that I want to work on with one of them. So I did enter the bat plane into the miscellaneous category, and there was a lot of good stuff on that table. Miscellaneous is an interesting kind of catch-all. There was a tractor on there. There was, one of the Hasegawa. If you've seen Peter's crawler tractor, imagine the original with the tracks on it. That was on there. There's Kelsey. You guys will hear me talk about her. She's probably one of the best painters I've ever seen. Her miniature work, she's a professional miniature painter. Her miniature work was extremely well represented at the show. By the way, guys, we will have a bunch of our photos from PatCon up very shortly. We just got them all downloaded, and I think we're just curating a few of them to get onto the website, and then the rest of them will probably be available for viewing in a Google folder. But she was on that table. But I'm happy to report the bat plane did get a gold medal. Came in first. That was actually a surprise. I did not expect that, because some of the stuff that I saw on that table kind of really took me by surprise. I was like, ooh, that's pretty good. Ooh, that's pretty good. So very happy with that. Look up for Yugo. You can make a drone moment. Nice. I've got enough stuff, Ray. Remember, I'm trying to keeping the model purchases down to next to nothing. Thank you, Julius. Appreciate it. As I've continued to say, and before I get to some of the purchases, probably never been seen Granitecon either. You have my permission to watch the before you wait. The only thing I think is Granitecon in one of the Harry Potter films, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Yeah, I don't know. Congratulations. Well, here's the thing, guys. Ultimately, my views on competitions hasn't changed. I entered just because I wanted to bring something to show my work, and I did have a couple people come up to me afterwards and say that was just a great model. And again, it's always nice to hear, the compliments and everything like that. But it's always just nice to talk about what you bring and just to show people stuff. But competitions, as you guys know, I couldn't care less if I won or not. But it was obviously it's nice when you do win. Not gonna lie, right? Is a Ferrari white with blue stripe? No, it was Ferrari red. Thank you, everyone. Take the win, you butt. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm grateful for it, but again, it's not the thing that drives me. Once again, I'm having conversations with a lot of people about what can we do to have less competition, be less part of a show, and have it be more of the have it be a part, but not the part. And the concept of more displays and club tables and expo only, all of those are conversations that other chapters seem to be having as well. And that makes me happy. There's conversations about, do we switch over to, open judging versus 1, 2, 3. And again, it's like, frankly, I'm indifferent. I'd rather have others kind of work on that part of it and let me work on or be part of the solution for getting more people involved rather than focusing it on being competitions. Competitions are such an American thing. We're like, for example, every time I brought up the concept of a clubs table and people who know a little bit more about IPMS internationally, like in the UK, they're like, oh yeah, like what Telford does. They just have club tables. They instantly get that. And they're like, that's a great idea. So that's what I'm hoping we're going to continue to move towards. That's Moaning Myrtle. Drowning Mona is potentially one of my favorite comedies. It has Bette Midler. Okay. I'll have to look into it. I will do that. I know, right? Americans hook. Not necessarily. Look, we have a competitive culture. We can, it is what it is. Anything we can turn into a competition. Look, we're doing, take a look at a lot of the shows. Project Runway, The Bachelor, Top Chef, all of these things. Americans have a passion, and it's not just us, but we have a passion for competitions. Everything that we can make into a competition, we will make into a competition. So anyway, what did I purchase? So I went around. One of our guys purchased a 1/48 scale. What do they call them? Modern miniatures. Tamiya has a series of 1/48 armor that is all smaller than 1/35, and they're fabulous builds. I built the what the hell was it? The T-15? Forget what it's called. It's the Japanese light tank. Wonderful model. So somebody was selling models like that, like a T-55, the Russian tank. He bought it for $10. I'm like, oh, where'd you get that? That I'd be interested in. Walked around, didn't find it. But what I did find were figures. And a couple 1/35th scale figures for some, now I can do something with like a Merkava or something like that, and it was $5. I mean, you can't go wrong for $5. And I found these guys as well in 1/72nd scale, a couple of Japanese pilots. Because you always can use a pilot inside of an aircraft. And again, $5. So my entire purchase at the show, I threw in $5 into the raffle, got nothing. Fine. There was somebody had a Babylon 5 Star Fury. I've got one. This was the other one. I was like, oh. So I threw in $5. Of course, nothing hit. Fine. Like I said, if I won it, it would just be going into the backlog. But those are the two things that I did buy. So I spent a total of $15 at the show, not including getting in and food and stuff like that. Runway and Top Chef normal competition. Okay. I think that is what makes us the worst now. Yeah, Lego Masters show is a very American thing. Why is Project Runway a normal competition? They're competitions. Americans have a passion for competition. Let's just call it the way it is. In fact, trying to be first and not what was best. Yeah. Your new tank crew? Possibly. I think I would love to do a diorama, a sort of a what if diorama, like having a bunch of Iraqi figures or Palestinians, kind of they're the ones who are driving the Merkava tank. I'm trying to remember what Merkava is in Israeli. I think in Hebrew. I think it stands for chariot. I could be wrong about that. So just find a whatever the Arabic word is for it, and just do something like that. That could be kind of an interesting thing to kind of do. But and then the day ended with, again, a bunch of good conversations at the fair at the very end. We were one of the last few guys. We wanted to thank Mac and his team for hosting a great show, and it was a packed show. They had more vendors this year, more vendor tables. They're in a small part of an elementary school, and the table, and this is a problem last year, and this year I think it was even more aggressive. There were more models on the tables, and I think the tables are fairly close by. It doesn't take much to bump a model. I didn't hear of any accidents or anything like that, but it's packed and difficult to kind of negotiate. Hopefully next year they'll expand to another part of the school to give them a little bit more space to be able to both have the flexibility to add more tables for competition and possibly even more vendor tables. So hopefully that'll do fine. It's not what if just not happened yet. Well, I'm not sure I want that to happen either. I generally hope that we don't have, that kind of a situation either, Joe. I don't think that would be a good thing. Yeah. We should de-escalate, not escalate in a different direction. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, so that was Granitecon in a nutshell. And again, it was. I'm happy that I had a chance to go. Had a lovely, lovely time with everybody. And the way it ended, the end of the day, Merkava is chariot in Hebrew. Yes. Yep, that's what I thought. So now if you come up with an Arabic word for chariot, that'd be kind of an interesting way of putting something out. Is there a limit on characters in the chat? Is there a limit on characters in the chat? I don't know what you mean by that, Chris. Are you talking about how much stuff you can type out? I have no idea. So it ended with Mason, Austin, and I going out for dinner last night after the show. And just, we saw Mac there. He and his wife showed up too, and they kind of hung out and did their thing. And it was a good show. So from beginning to end, from getting there till the time I drove home, it's like the time flew like that. And as you all know, when time flies like that, it's a good time. So, yeah, and once again, it was a great show. I'm very happy to have gone. Appreciated everything that was done at that show. It was an excellent show, and I do recommend it to others. And I'm looking forward to taking a break from shows now. Just leave it at that. I think 275 per chat. Okay. All right, let's just do a little scraping here, just to get some of this excess stuff off. I did burn through a little bit here of the Bondo, which is fine. Because it does not have to be perfect. We're going to switch live chat and not top chat. I should do that too. Keep forgetting to do that, Joe. Thank you. I was in the UK. I went with a couple of my fellow modelers in my time to their IPMS show. It was huge then. Yeah. When was this, Chris? Huge. There's, yeah, it's so little here. I'm just going to do like a light scrape. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to carve all around this one. Then we'll start on the main body. Not going to have a lot of time to get things done. Hey, Dwayne, good morning. Can't imagine what it is now. Yeah. Dwayne, are you guys, I'm assuming you're all back now. Dwayne did send me something, I think last night. I was indisposed. I got home, hung out with my daughter, and then just had to get some little family time in and some personal stuff done. But I will be checking out the photo dump that Dwayne did. So, Dwayne, in a nutshell, how was the show? Great trip, great show. Got silver. Oh, nice. Congratulations. Don is his last leg this morning. Are you guys just driving back now? Hey, Mike, good morning. How are you? Hope you had a fantastic drive back, dude. Spent a lot of time talking with Mike yesterday, too. It was great. Mike and Kim, always a pleasure to see them. And it was nice, actually, to see them there and not have them be vendors. We're actually able to spend some time talking without having customers getting in the way. I feel like we're in a virtual coffee shop. You're probably right, Joe. I'm going to say 96 definitely before Telford at the same. It was held at Dunnington Raceway. They closed F1 track. Nice, Mr. Mike. Time for coffee. Yeah, I hear you on that. I flew. Granitecon was good. Yeah, I just did a recap on it. It was better than good. Yeah. All the shows that I attended, from the Classic Plastic show through the Hudson Valley show, through Granitecon. All of them were great. And a lot of it is, again, because why do we go to shows? We see cool models and we hang out with awesome people. And that is what it's all about. So it was an excellent show. Yeah, and Dwayne, you can certainly, if you want to watch this afterward, there you can do, I did a, 15, 20-minute recap on it. Literally just wrapped up before you popped in. But overall, can't say enough good stuff about it. In fact, what was interesting about Granitecon was, so most shows you get to the judging side, and then it's like, okay, the awards ceremony, we have to wait for all that. Dude, we're just like suddenly it's like 3:15, almost 3:30, and it's like, hold it, are they starting the award ceremony now? And yeah, I walked in like, I don't know, right at the beginning of it. The we were done there, what, 4:30, 4:15? I think, yeah, actually, no, before that. By 4 o'clock, all the awards were handed out, and we were in the parking lot making decisions. We finally got to a restaurant, I don't know, 4:30, quarter of 5, something like that. They also had a building with all kinds of F1 cars, like, I don't know, it's a Jackie Stewart, just loads of F1 cars. Cool. Not my cup of tea, but I think people who are into cars would enjoy that. I'll check it out later. Sounds good. And I'm assuming all y'all had a good time. You got a silver. How did Don and Brian do? And who else was there? Anybody I know? It was a great trip there and back. Just had 10-hour drive time, and we had an awesome time. Great conversation with lots of folks, friends and customers. Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And that's what it's all about, right? Mike actually had Mike, if you don't mind, I'm going to share this observation. So Mike and Kim said there the same weekend there was a show that was much closer to them. And they're like, but we like the people here. So they drove 5 hours to get to Granitecon, hang out for a few hours, and then drive all the way back because home, comfort. They know the people here. They know how friendly we all are. Not all of us are assholes like me. So all of that goodness was something that they appreciated. And I think that's a pretty powerful thing when you've got a community. And in New England, I think we do. We've got a pretty strong community. Wouldn't you say, Mike? I'll give it to the Brits. Their museums are outstanding. They are, particularly the historical ones, because of theft. That's a conversation for another day. Yes, I would agree that their museums are pretty awesome. And Duxford and Hendren are outstanding if you are into aircraft. Nice. Thanks, George. Night, everyone. Hey, Julius, have a lovely evening, my friend. Thanks for popping in. I know it's wicked early for you. Get some rest, my friend. We get an assholes are in limited supply. I don't know about that. That I wouldn't say. I think every region has its types. But once again, that's the kind of stuff you can avoid. And instead, go out and have fun. %, not just community friendships. Exactly, Mike. Yep. Don't worry, we ship them in. Nice. Got to meet Pabs and Kyle again. Lots of silvers across the board. Pabs got gold. That's not a surprise. What did he get gold for? All right, that's been notched in. So now we have, I'm going to sand the, oops, forgot that area. I'm going to start sanding the body itself. Not going to get very far into it today, but we're going to start. Let's see, his FOO bus from a few years ago. Oh, nice. I don't know if I've ever seen it, but that's cool. Later, Nick. Have a good one, brother. We'll talk soon. We'll see you tomorrow. No, I'm not on tomorrow. Wednesday. Let's Let's see. Should bring that just wins nonstop at PACON. Yeah. No. Was a win day for me. Win day for me. Found a model kit I've been looking for. Had conversations with other builders to help complete a build that was has been a thorn in my side for 2 years now. Very, very clean. It's very clean. Yeah, Mike was saying another part of the show. What's the benefit of coming to a show? Because you can ask people who are experts in what they do. Hey, I'm having a hard time with this. Can I just walk you through something? And they'll freely give good advice. Yeah, Mike was saying that he the model that he's been working on, he's been having a hard time trying to get it's a cast model, if I'm correct. Just trying to get some of the work done on it. It's a model he's always been interested in the design of, and having to talk to some people who knew either the model or a solution. Yeah, try this, get that, and this thing will be fine. And again, sometimes we bash our way through things when we remember that there's a community out there that we can talk with that can help us out. It's great, right? Hey, Seb. Good day to you. How are you? New green Hornet car with figure now. I guess I getting that. Nice. I didn't realize that they introduced a new. Is this like a new casting of it? Like a completely new tooling, Joe? Okay, let's get the inside. I did not do the inside of the other plates because I don't think they're going to be seen nearly as much. But these, whoops, wrong way. Maybe it's from AMT. If it is, then it's probably just a rebox of it, or maybe just add a figure to it. Not to mention, 400 awesome builds on tables. Yeah, they had 400 models for that venue. That's tight. We had a hangar for 661 models in competition, plus the display stuff. They had 400 and change there. I was there 22 hours and got about 2 weeks of conversations done. Nice. Yeah. See, those are good times. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Doing fine on this gray morning. And how are you? Not bad. Just filling everybody in on the competition that I went to up in New Hampshire yesterday, the Granitecon IPMS event, which was fabulous. As I've said, I'm also kind of glad that this is my last show of the season. There's one more in the immediate area, but my daughter has an event that day, and I'm just, I need to step away. I need to kind of like, okay, it's been a whirlwind 3 weeks, and now I need to decompress a little bit. 4 weeks, actually, if we think about the prep work for PatCon. Rarely see new tool from AMT. You're not going to see new tooling from AMT. I don't think that they exist anymore. I think they're just reprinting whatever they have. Now, Mike could probably answer that better than us, but I don't believe that AMT is doing any kind of new stuff. Let's see new parts in AMT. Yeah, 100 Polar Lights 132 on the box set, all new tooling. Really? I've seen pics from Syricon from New York here. Seem to be very low turn. Really? That's unfortunate because the guys up there are decent guys. I've had good conversations with a few of them, particularly when I was at the Hudson Valley show last week. I am sorry to hear that. You always have to kind of wonder why that is, right? Let's see. I began my 3-week decompression, and man, it felt good. The weather forecast, yeah. Well, but hopefully it'll clear up very soon for you, Seb. That's nice. Now, if memory serves, you're basically just staying home and decompressing, right? Which is always, I personally like that. It's nice to go out and do a vacation and come back, but there has to be some level of, I just need to not do anything. Round 2 Models owns all AMT. They are repairing the old molds to improve the product, so we are seeing a lot of old kits being re-released. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Looks really good. A moving diorama is much needed for that kit. Oh, probably. I go for now. Need the computing power to print one more of the experiment. Alrighty, Edwin. Have a lovely evening, my friend. Thank you for being here today. All right, I got a few more minutes myself. I'm just going to try to get the skirt texturing done here. Turn her over. Let's do the interior. And I'm going to work on the body tomorrow. I'm also going to try to get texturing done on these tomorrow too. That might be the first thing, and then I'll get back to the sanding. I'm starting to fall behind on this model significantly, especially if I'm going to be adding bead welds to it. Weld beads. I'm going to be running into issues with getting this thing done by December 3rd, I believe, is when our meeting is. So I'm going to be probably taking, my 2 mornings off a week to focus strictly on this. And then if things start to at least pick up a little bit work-wise and on the personal end upstairs, then I'll try to get down to the bench as well a few times. There we go. All right. I think we are. There we go. You too, Joe. Have a good day, brother. I'm going to get around to is putting out new stuff. Yep, staying home will do some. Hey, MSA, how are you? It has been a while. Yeah, staying home will do for medical appointment. Finally do my passport and take some walk in my region. Nice. And given the region I think you're in, I can only imagine how lovely it is. And boy, I would love to be there. Good, everyone. As I learn more about Zircon turnout, I'll fill you in. Sounds good, Mike. Have a good one, brother. Thanks for being there. Say hi to Kim for me, please. Had a really good time with you guys yesterday. More important than anything, finished for my Halloween costume. Boy, Seb, I got to tell you, I want to see a photo of this thing when you're done. You are talking quite a bit about this thing, and I'm sure it's going to look great. Good morning, Emma. How are you? Hope you had a lovely, lovely Sunday. Can't wait for this Thursday. Oh, really? What's special about this Thursday? Oh, hey. That's going to be some interesting texturing there. We're almost done. I did a little cast texturing underneath this. I probably didn't need to do it. I did it, so it's done. Yeah, it's a beautiful region. Yeah. George, if I remember correctly, you like history. Did you hear about the robbery at the Louvre? I did not hear about that. When did that happen, Seb? And yes, I have a mad respect for history. Oh crap! What was stolen? How the hell does that happen in a modern society? Your politics night happened the last couple of weeks. Yes, I hope to be on. I pulled back a little bit from that just because I've had a lot of other stuff that kind of came up. If I Thursday nights are always going to be sort of all right, do I have something to say? Great. Or do I feel like I have something to say? Great. I will do it. But if I don't, it won't happen. So we'll probably know more as I get closer to Thursday. But has a lot happened in this world since? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we know that. Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay. I'm just doing some touch up here. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup with a knife, and then we're going to call it a session for today. Really? Robbery at the Loop. You know, I got to tell you, how is it that people can do that? You know, what is it about wanting to own something so badly that you are going to risk so much to do that and take away from so many people? I've never understood that. There are things in life I just do not understand. Okay, we're almost there. A little bit up top here. I need to get the construction, which means the weld beads and everything done on this thing before the end of the month, or I'm almost certain I'm not going to get this thing painted in time for the December meeting. The base painting is going to be interesting to say the least, but it's going to be just getting all the weathering done in a way that looks good. And I might not do heavy weathering. I might just do some light weathering on it, but we'll see. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see what we got. That tool. This Saturday morning, they used a lifting platform on the exterior and a circular saw to break in while the museum was open. They were very professional robbers. I don't understand. They fled on a two-wheel while abandoning Genie Crown. Wow. I'll have to look into this. I did not hear about this. Wow. Just such evil stuff. Why? I don't understand why people do stuff like that. I really don't. Why do you take away from something that the public now owns, or its personal collection that the public is seeing through a museum? I don't understand people doing stuff like that. You know, just kind of criminal behavior just frosts me. All right, we're almost done here. Like I said, I just wanted to get all this extra stuff scraped away, and then we'll be calling it a session. Sorry, guys. Just trying to get this area done so I can bail. Very clear along the top. All right. I will continue this tomorrow. I got the inside to do a little bit and around the weaponry, and then that's done. But so far, it's coming out pretty good. Coming out pretty good. Which Pink Panther movie was this? Yeah. Laws and infrastructure has not caught up to technology. Yeah, it's really dumb since the police will watch every black market to find them. Yeah. And I'm also assuming that there's probably enough camera stuff out there that with the surveillance stuff, how do people get by with this stuff? Anyway, crazy stuff. Have a great day, everyone. You too, Dwayne. Dwayne, I'll ping you later on. All right, brother. Anyway, guys, go out there and do good. Museum became a low priority. A year went by. Really stupid. Stay safe and stay sane. Go out there and do good, my friends. I got some thoughts on this, but I'm going to table them for tomorrow just because I got to roll. But Seb, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yeah, definitely, Dwayne. But guys, go out there and do good. Do right by people. Don't vilify. Don't take shit from people. I don't understand. Just do right. But show kindness and respect and love for people. Dignity is what it's all about. So continue to do that for everyone, even for people you don't agree with. I'll be back on again Wednesday, not tomorrow, not Tuesday, but Wednesday. I'm going to take some time tomorrow to get some of this done, but enjoy the next couple days, guys. Do good. Love you all. Catch you on the flip. Peace.